Hey everybody, I'm Ryan McCaffrey with IGN. I am joined by a gentleman with a nice resume. His name is Mark Skaggs. He is the, if I have it correct, the Senior Vice President of Games over at Zynga.
Yep.
You may know him better as one of the original folks behind Command & Conquer, legendary strategy series back in the day. Mark, you've got yourself a brand new strategy game that we're playing on iPad and take it with us anywhere we want to go.
Yep. So what we're going to be looking at today is Empires & Allies. It's a modern military-themed action strategy game. But the way to think about it is if you're a fan of traditional RTS games, this is the game for you on iPad and mobile.
I like the sound of that so far because typically I'm not much of an iPad or mobile gamer at all. There's something about them where they're too quick. They're not involved enough, and then of course the control scheme is always tricky. So what are we doing in Empires & Allies here to make it more interesting to old codgers like me?
It's perfect because I'm the same kind of way. Having made these games on the PC before, I know there's a certain level of action, excitement, and adrenaline that you get when you sit down to play what I would say a long session game.
Sure.
30 minutes, an hour, 2 hours with your friends, multiplayer. It's an incredible experience. And so what we want to do is try to bring the essence of that experience forward. But also, it's mobile and tablet, so we got to leave some of the harder stuff like, micromanagement of units.
Individual units.
Right. It just doesn't translate. And, and that's one of the reasons it took me so long to get to this place to say, let's make this game now, because I couldn't figure it out. I didn't quite know. My head was in the old space.
Right.
But a couple of years ago, look, there's a pattern now. I think we can do this. And so that's what we have here. So right now we're looking at the base.
Okay.
And a lot of people say, wow, this kind of reminds me of CNC Generals, which was one of the games I made way back when.
Yes.
And really it is just really about its modern military with kind of a special look to it, simplified graphics so you can see what it is. And if we zoom back just a little bit, you can still tell what everything is on the battlefield, which is critical when you have a small device, right? To be able
I'm guessing that was just a simple pinch.
Oh yeah, it's a pinch zoom
right there.
Yeah.
It's the same as any other iPad function.
Yep. So now when you're looking at the base, you go, okay, I get this. Here's my base that I build it up. It's persistent. You build it over time. See the tarmacs of the units. Maybe we can zoom in a little bit and look at those. So we're going to see this is kind of a format you might be familiar with, tower attack games or other types of strategy games you see on mobile.
Yeah.
And we took that and we said, okay, let's use that as a format where you build up your base, you build up some troops that you then take into attack. And before we do a quick attack, let's just take a look at some of the stuff we got going on our base.
Yeah, there's a lot. I mean, you're pushing a lot of polygons here on a mobile device. I mean, I guess it helps that every year these tablets just get more and more powerful.
They are. They're definitely more powerful. Now, I think, starting about 2 years ago, they got to be powerful enough we thought we could make a nice 3D game.
Yeah. Are we running on, what, an Air 2 right now?
This is an Air 2.
Air 2, yeah. Okay.
It runs well on an Air, runs on well on an iPad, our lowest level device, iPad 2.
Okay.
So it reminds me actually a lot of the PC days where you had to set your minimum configuration and your recommended. So the same kind of thing there.
All right, let's do it. Let's
talk about some of this, and I'm going to highlight some of the key differences. And the first thing you're going to see is these units patrolling around the base.
Mm-hmm.
Those are set at rally flags, and those are what we call active defenses. Because in a lot of these games, when you go to attack a base, you look at what it is, you just throw your troops down, you kind of watch what's happening, and there's nothing going on other than just a watching. It's a passive situation. But with these active defenses, like these drones walking around there, or the Rangers up near top, those guys change things up when you attack the base because you never know where they're gonna go or what they're gonna do. And when they come out to attack your attacking units, it makes it just like the old RTS battles, right? It's dynamic.
Yeah.
And it also does what we really want to do and what we loved about RTS games. You're always involved in decision making while the battle's happening. When you show up at the base, you see the active defenses there, and we can see them. Here's all the different defenses you can put on your rally flags. And you go, okay, this guy has Rangers. They're going to come around. They're going to shoot up my tanks and everything, but the spiders are going to tear them up, right?
Yeah.
Or we can say, look, bring in some choppers or the MLRS or a stealth tank, and it really just makes me have to think harder and have more decisions while I'm fighting.
Now, were those build times real time there? 36 minutes for a tank, or is that an in-game clock?
I think those. Go ahead. Let's take a look at that again there. Yeah, those are build times there for those. So it'll build a full tarmac of the 3 stealth tanks in 36 minutes. All right? But when you look at the Rangers, it's really fast. Right?
Yeah.
So, but that's just to help keep, that's the initial build time. If they get destroyed in a battle, and these are your defensive troops, they get built right back. Right away.
Nice. Okay.
Yeah. So it's just kind of like the initial build time on that. Let's talk about something else. Let's look at these dome defenses here. We scroll over a little bit, and we look at that one right there. we can see there's a phalanx cannon there. That guy is just like a super fast machine gun. Now, the key part about that is we call them dome defenses because when you look at them and you're going to attack that base, there's a dome over it, and you don't know what's under it. So let's go ahead and take a look at what we can change it to. So right now it's set at the cannon. We can change it to a Thel laser, or we can change it to this anti-air attack defense, which
disco ball defense.
Disco ball of death actually is one of the things that Cameron, our lead designer, calls it. And this guy really takes down anti-air defenses, like if you bring in a set of drones or helicopters or even missiles when you're trying to shoot missiles at it, it takes that down. But this is just another one of those things when you're going to attack the base, you have to decide what to do because you don't know what's in there until you start your attack.
Got it.
Right? So again, just the whole idea of keeping you actively engaged while you're fighting. Let's go ahead and show a quick battle. Why don't we jump in?
Yeah, let's fight something.
And take a look at the globe here. Now, this globe, the way to think about this is, let's scroll it around just a little bit and kind of look at it. So, the fiction behind the game is the bad guys, the GRA, have taken over the world. Okay. And your job is to save it. You liberate it. The blue is what you've liberated. The red is where the bad guys are. And you can see here some bad guy bosses that we've put into the game. These guys have special bases. And let's go ahead and attack one of those. First one we're going to do is this general right here. And people who've played traditional RTS games know the difference between solo missions and multiplayer fights, right? Sure. The idea is we wanted to give that same, hey, you like the solo experience, you want some puzzles? And that's what these solo missions are. There's 156 countries around the world that each has their own mission to it.
Really?
But in total, there's 250 different solo missions.
Nice.
And they're so let's go ahead and just take a glance over here and load up and start the attack. All right. So this guy gives you a nice little taunt. Every one of these bosses has a custom level of, sort of custom crafted defensive situation. This gives us a chance to show bases that players wouldn't normally build, but also craft a puzzle there. So first thing we're going to do is let's go ahead and just drop some troops here and start the attack.
So are these all handcrafted or are they procedurally generated?
They're handcrafted.
Handcrafted, nice.
Yeah. So we're going ahead to drop in some tanks, and here comes all the troops, and you can see the look and feel of it just like a traditional RTS
Absolutely.
game. And that was on purpose, obviously. And you can see on the top there, the artillery is bombing some tanks. We had some spiders rush up. As I'm playing this, I have to make these decisions on what to do, like dropping the Hellfire missile there to take out the defenses. Here comes my A-10s, take out those. And, one of the other things that you're making decisions on in the middle of the battle is as you attack and destroy defenses and buildings, you get these command points there. And those are the command points that you use to fire super weapons.
Nice.
The idea behind this, it keeps the momentum of the battle going, but also gives you more choices on what to do throughout the whole battle.
Yeah, I saw a nuke there. That'll be fun.
Yeah, we'll get to that in just a little bit. The whole goal on this, of course, is to destroy the base and get 3 stars.
You're putting the real-time and real-time strategy here.
Yeah, it is very active.
No time to think, and that's obviously by design.
You got 3 minutes, but it's also the play sessions on mobile.
Yeah.
Right? You're on the bus. You're waiting for your friends to show up for dinner or lunch or something. You're waiting in line at Starbucks. And so the essence there is to keep it at 3 minutes. Now, if you're playing, that's 3 minutes is if you're playing multiplayer. Now, on the solo missions, we give you a little bit more time, but not that much more.
Right.
So that was just a fast attack. So you can get a flavor of the game here. But let's go ahead and collect all the resources because this is just traditional. You collect your resources. Sure. It gives you
rack them up
so you can do your upgrades and purchase your troops. Here is our Alliance Center. There, it's a giant, cool-looking radar dish. So let's go ahead and click on that. And that's resources that you get as bounties of your Alliance members fighting battles. So it's good to be part of an Alliance. One of the things we say is that friends are a force multiplier. So join up an alliance. The more they battle, the more successful they are. They're
more fun you get to have.
Yeah, you get to have some too. Let's go ahead and pull up the button there and take a look at all the gifts. So here's our alliance chat. But let's look at the gifting that we have going on in the game. If you look at the top one there, gift from Dan.
So these are real life friends.
These are real life people, yeah. So there's Dan and there's Cam gave 3 gifts.
Generous
on our
guy,
team, right? But let's go ahead and collect that gift from Dan there. It's a crate, and when you hit it. Now what this is, Dan made a purchase of gold, and when he does that, his friends the people in his alliance get a gift as well.
Nice.
And when we look at the other thing, Cam has given us some supplies and some steel and some tech there. This is just a thing that we know that, friends are a force multiplier. Help your friends out, give them gifts. So if you get to that point, maybe it's like 11 o'clock at night and you want to do one more battle, you're a little short on oil.
Yeah.
Hey, anybody set me up some oil? Bam, they give you the stuff and you can keep playing. That's pretty fun there. Let's go ahead and take a look at another really cool feature. It's a Strike Force feature.
Okay.
Pop this one out. This one is, again, the idea of having your friends there in battle with you. It just makes it more fun, right?
Of course.
It's a little bit of our legacy history of Zynga, and when we made Cityville, one of the things we did is I said, hey, let's put our friends' pictures on the map. This is the same thing. So if we go ahead and take one of the guys down there and drag him, we can drag him onto a defense here, and let's go ahead and put him on that guard tower there. Now what happens is, think of him as like giving an extra buff to that guard tower now.
Sure.
Right? So when you come to attack me, you're not going to see that buff there, but suddenly when you get close enough, it's going to activate, and you got another set of decisions to make.
Okay.
Right? So it's back to that whole theme of making decisions, meaningful choices while the battle's going on. You can also take these guys, and let's go ahead and add them to our tarmacs. So when we look at dragging this one out, this guy has a custom flag that he set for himself. Now think of that guy buffing those set of tanks. This other friend here buffing that next set of tanks. So when we go into battle, these guys are going to be stronger.
Right.
They're going to be, and it's also cool because when you drop them off, you see their little heads going out there. It's like, hey, my friends are helping me win. So how about we change up some of these units here? Okay. What do you think we should get? Let's, how about...
What's the next move?
We pick some tanks there. Do we got enough drones?
Yeah, that...
We got some laser
helicopter
guided
drone, dude. Looked pretty cool there.
Yeah, we got some. Let's get some laser guided lightning guys. All right, we upgrade our rangers there.
Ready for deployment.
All right, so before we go any further, let me talk about the tech. So on the top two things there,
UAV standing by.
we've got. Here we go. We just accelerated them all those dudes with those big weird looking guns there. They're laser guided lightning guys, and one way to think about it is like the Ghostbusters gun or like the beam out of the Death Star.
Yeah.
But this is actually a real tech. What happens is they shoot the air with lasers, ionize it, and then shoot lightning down that channel.
Ow.
This really touches on kind of how we're thinking about the game. It's modern military plus a few years. This is a tech that's in development right now.
Okay.
So in the future it'll be there. So let's put it into the game. All right. So why don't we go ahead and do a big attack?
Let's do it. Let's see what all of our preparation
I think this guy from
prepared us for.
Australia, John Thompson, the Thunder from Down Under, is a pretty advanced boss. And as we zoom back here, we can see his base. Now we're gonna have to. We can't. The first base we attacked, we just dropped the troops and ran in there and just it was melee. We were overpowered because it's a demo, right?
Yeah, we'll make it look good.
And in this case, we got to be a little bit more strategic. So I know you're going to want to drop a nuke over there. We're going to want to be able to take out his railguns that are going to start hitting us. I know from playing this mission before, some reinforcements are going to come in the middle of the mission. We're going to have to take out those guys. And we're going to have to really strategically use and choose which one of our super weapons do we drop when.
Okay.
So why don't we go ahead and start that attack right now? And some people think, oh, here's his taunt, because that's what all the bosses do. Some people
like a young
think
John Goodman.
he is kind of, right? A little bit slick.
Tropic Thunder.
There you go. So let's go ahead and drop the nuke. And some people think, oh my gosh, the nuke should kill the whole map. Well, we know from RTS games, that doesn't make it fun, right? So think of it as a tactical nuke. But it also just delivered a ton of command points to ourselves. So why don't we use some of those to take out some of the strategic, use them strategically, take out a couple of key defenses. We'll pick the Hellfire here and go right in there and try to take out those guard towers. That's good. Yeah, let's drop some troops. Here we got some drones coming in there. We've got an AA on the side there, so we're going to want to take that out. You can see the enemy just dropped some reinforcements here. So the battle's already different than it was a second ago, and I've got to respond to it. We see the AA is taking out our drone, so maybe we want to hit that guy with a Hellfire. Or, no, an EMP works at Hellfire too.
Boom.
There we go. It's out. All right. So now I think we're just going to have to send all the rest of our troops in there since our drones are pretty much taken care of.
You've made quick work of 2/3 of the base.
Now here we are with the giant Titan tanks. You saw the little friend icon on top of them?
Yes.
So again, I feel good. My friend's helping me out. These guys are extra buff, so we're just going to start the attack.
Make it hurt.
Yeah. Now one of the things we have, if you look over to the left side, Alpha, Bravo, Charlie, those are command groups. Those are just like you do in a regular RTS game. Gives you a little bit more command.
Nice.
So if you're an advanced player and you want to say, hey, let's set all my tanks to be the alpha group, I can direct them around the board separate from the rest of the group. And that's pretty key. So we just had the big old giant laser from the sky, sort of a traditional RTS weapon that you see. And there's these laser-guided lightning guys. When they attack at something and they all pick the same target, their beams combine and it's even more powerful.
We definitely want to cross the streams
We
with those guys.
definitely want to cross the streams on this one. So we just buffed up our big Titan tanks, make them move a little bit faster. Think of it like a stim. And boom, we've just wiped out the enemy there. Now he's upset. He says crikey because that's what Australians say. Right? And there we go. So you can see, oh, and here's our victory screen. Here's all the resources you've looted. Tells you who's in your strike force and also who your casualties are, which if you don't lose your troops in battle, you get to take them into the next one. You don't have to rebuild them. So it's very fast.
Well, that is good stuff. Mark, thank you so much. The game is Empires and Allies. It is out now.
Yep.
iOS.
iOS and Android.
And Android, perfect. Both.
Yes.
Do we even want to play this on a phone, honestly, or do we want a tablet for this game?
You know what? You want whatever you have is the first thing. But we did actually tune it to work well and be able to see what's going on our phone.
Excellent.
A tablet's a cool experience because it's just a little bit bigger and you can see the fidelity.
Outstanding. We'll check it out now on whatever your mobile device preference is. And for more on all the coolest RTS games, you're already in the right place right here at IGN.